Welcome to this edition of In-Depth Alaska. I'm Tracy Sinclair. Now, earlier this week, 6 passengers went through some tense moments out at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport as their plane, when it went to land, the nose gear didn't go down. Shannon Jones and Roxy Menegwin were passengers on that plane, and they admit it was a scary situation, but they give all the credit to the pilot, Doug Ferguson, who they say handled the situation perfectly. Now here are some extended interviews with Shannon and Roxy, and following that, the pilot, Doug Ferguson.
The pilot's name is Doug, and we always fly with Denina Air Taxi.
Okay, good to know. I'll just write that down real quick. And this is a flight that you've done a couple times?
Oh yeah,
many
times.
How long is it typically?
It's about an hour flight.
An hour. Yeah. So you got on the plane that day. Anything like just ever enter your head that maybe it'd be a less than usual flight?
No,
because they landed fine when he got to Ekwok, was last stop, and he took off fine.
And he had landed in Koliganek and took off just fine. So we had no reason to believe it would be anything other than a normal flight.
And you said he was flying for 43 years?
I think 43 years, yeah.
Did he tell you that beforehand? Or?
I don't remember. Somehow,
I don't remember.
He said, he was about ready to retire. So.
It came over the intercom, for typical.
No, there's no intercom in there. It's too small.
It's too small.
The information just comes back from him to the passengers all the way back to us. So we were in the back.
There were 7 of us on the plane.
Yeah, total.
So you got on, it's a typical hour flight, you've done this before, pretty comfortable. When you were flying, what was the first indicator that maybe something was not right or maybe a little bit unusual?
We are supposed to go into Merrill-Field, and we flew very low over Ted Stevens and then back up again, and Anchorage disappeared from view, and we started like a really big circle, and we weren't sure what was going on. We thought maybe it was the weather because it was kind of foggy out, but we didn't know anything at that point.
We went quite far because Anchorage was completely gone. We couldn't see it any longer, so we knew we were away from Anchorage again.
Yeah. Any announcements or anyone say anything to you?
Not at first.
Not at first, and then he said that there was something wrong with the gear in the front. And so,
and we didn't really know what that meant.
Because in my head, I mean, I've been on a plane how many times, and I forget that there's a front wheel. So it was, that wouldn't go down.
And then he did say it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be bumpy.
Yeah,
I think he said.
But
we didn't know what that meant though either, until we found out that we were going to land without a front tire.
Yeah. So. But he did amazing. I mean,
awesome.
It was a very smooth landing, to be honest with you, with only 2 wheels. And the fire trucks followed us.
The front was up for a little ways, and then it just went down and skidded for quite a while, quite a ways.
Until we stopped.
Yeah, that's what the firefighter said. They were able to watch and saw that it stayed on the back 2 wheels, and he kind of sputtered the engines, they were saying.
I didn't notice that. We just were watching the ground.
So you were able to stay on. It wasn't until the very end that it dipped into the runway.
It just like at one point it almost looked like a normal landing, except we were kind of facing the sky, and then it just slowly dipped down, and then we just slid to a stop. And it's hard to tell how long that took.
Yeah, I don't.
It was just like almost in slow motion. Tipping over.
Slow motion.
That part, the tipping over part.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to tell how long it was. What was going through your head while that was going?
I kept wondering why it wasn't on fire, because you watch all the shows, and you think that's what's going to happen next, but it thankfully didn't. But he was amazing. He was calm. He
made it feel
like he had it.
Yeah, that we knew that he's probably nervous. I'm sure he was. He just wasn't showing it.
He did not show it at all, which was. I think that helped us.
Yeah, that he was calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a calm, collected, cool as a
Pilot.
cucumber.
Yeah, and he definitely was that.
Yeah, he was probably white knuckling it though. I don't know if you
Probably.
could see the-
I don't know.
He
I think we were.
He was communicating quite a bit with,
Yeah.
I think, whomever was out there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then once you had come to a stop, any special like procedure they had you go through? as you
He
got
just went to the back and opened the door, and then we had a pretty good drop
It was
to
a
get
couple
down.
feet.
It was at least, I think it was like 3 feet.
Was about 3 feet.
Yeah, to drop down because we were tilted so high. Some of the cargo had slid forward, obviously, so we kind of had to go over that. But I mean, it was, all of us walked away. So it was impressive.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I was going to be on a plane and have that happen, I'm so glad it was him.
yeah.
A little anxiety hit, but it was,
Yeah, then we got kind of panicky afterwards.
once we hit the feet on the
ground.
ground, it felt much better.
Did you kiss the ground?
No.
Not yet, no.
That would have been, I would have done that if I was there.
Kind of shaking a little bit too
Yeah, I
much.
think
to
we got
think
real
about.
shaky at the end there. Once we were standing looking at it, we got real shaky, but I think we're okay. I mean,
Yeah, that's always, any landing you can walk away from.
It's a good one.
It
landing.
was an experience, you don't want to do it again.
no, that was
'Cause
good.
When
I'm-
you're
I'm
up there,
good.
you don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to land correctly? Is it going to,
What's
kind of
gonna
catch on
happen?
fire? Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen until
Yeah,
you get down there. So
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
But all props go to that pilot, pun intended.
Well, he was a great pilot. You said he was close to retirement, right? Did he say, this is my last flight?
I'm
He-
wondering.
He did as he walked out. He said, "This is one of my last flights before retiring." But I think that was a planned thing, not because of
No, yeah, he
the,
was already
the way the
planning.
plan landed. Yeah.
Yeah. Those pictures are funny though. I mean, seeing a plane, you just don't, like you said, you don't think about it having wheels sometimes.
I mean,
until
it
you
just didn't
see
occur to me, which is
something
probably a
happen.
good thing
Yeah.
that I didn't remember, because then I was like, oh, if I'd known. Because I turned to her and I said, what gear's in the front? I think that was panic. But
So you're flying out in a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, before that flight that you're gonna maybe,
no
this is
idea.
probably-
I don't even know how to prepare for it.
No, I mean, my
Just-
daughter joked that I now live in Anchorage and I wasn't going to go home. I mean, that's our only way to go home. This is what we do. We have to get on it. And if I'm going to get on it, I trust them, I trust them to get on the plane.
Yeah, they have some experienced pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So
We were very grateful for that.
Yes, that's good. I mean, in Anchorage and in Alaska, 1 in 6 people pilots licenses, and unfortunately, you do hear those bad stories. But then you have, great pilots like Doug, and so people have to rely on them, and they come through in situations like this. So.
Yeah, he really did.
yeah,
It was awesome that we walked away. I'm glad it was him.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I have.
I would be glad
so,
too.
Right?
Yeah,
Jeez, that's like, those are like the types of stories you hear that make you not want to go on a plane.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have
Yeah.
another option.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
when you work out there, yeah.
Luckily, like most of the time, I feel like a lot of people probably go their whole lives without having any type of incident
Yeah.
like that. But it's just kind of unfortunate. Sorry you guys had to experience that, but it seems like
But I mean, honestly, we were panicking, obviously, but at the same time, I didn't think like, okay, this is it. I guess he was so calm.
He was, so he didn't think about it. And then he didn't even really know until he was getting into the landing, where he was, because we really didn't know a lot until he was starting to circle, because he didn't really tell us anything. We just thought, I don't even know what we thought.
Yeah,
Weather,
at
for what
first
we
I thought it
the
was
weather.
weather, and then I was like, here we go.
I just texted, oh, something's wrong, we don't.
And we kept losing signal as we're texting, because as we're circling, we would lose signal in certain spots. So we're trying to let our husbands know, and
They're thinking the worst, actually.
yeah, apparently my husband was watching FlightAware and Life 360, the app that we have, which made it look like we were in the water, Life 360, and then FlightAware, we just disappeared off the radar at one point, and I think that's when we landed.
Yeah.
But he thought that
something happened.
Yeah, and he's watching from home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would freak me out. We made the comment earlier, someone said something about Sully in the Hudson.
Yeah, yeah.
Years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that would be terrifying as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you want someone like that, cool-headed,
Mm-hmm.
pilot.
I mean, he was amazing.
I was actually at one point looking down to see if we were in water on land.
I didn't even look at that part.
That's all I could think about. I said, are we on the water or land?
Yeah, it was not a good feeling to know that that was the only way to get down,
Mhm.
and to not know what we were expecting.
Do you guys I don't know, do you guys look at life in a different way now? Has it changed you guys?
I think
we're
I'm
so
more
shocked.
well, that and more aware maybe of what can happen.
Yeah.
Because when you're just getting a plane, like you know something, in the back of your mind. Well, this could happen.
But you just never
But you never
think it's
really
gonna.
think of it that way.
When
Now
we're-
you think of it more that way. Well, this could happen.
Yeah. And when I came into Anchorage and we got signal, I sent my daughter a text because she was going to pick me up. And I said, this never gets old. Because I love it. It's the coolest thing ever. But then it just turned really crazy,
Around. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that is, flying is beautiful.
Yeah.
Until it isn't.
It's an experience. It is for
Yeah.
anybody who's never been up there, on a plane.
It's the best views
Mhm.
from those little planes. And I mean, honestly, we could have more accidents on the road driving around than being in the plane.
I think one of the officers did say, "This isn't anybody's first time flying, is it?"
Yeah, he did.
I said, no.
No.
Yeah, that would be, I'm sure they would not be flying after this if that was it.
Yeah,
No.
might do it. But yeah, he was a great pilot. So,
Kudos, Sam. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely.
Well, have you experienced anything like that? Anything similar kind of landing before you?
No, maybe a long time ago, back in the 80s. Had a problem with nose gear on a 206, landing in the mud, but that was about it.
Yeah. So this was kind of new for you this time around.
Well, after 46 years, it's like nothing. Usually you don't want stuff you can't think about. If I sit there and thought about what could happen any day, I mean, it'd drive me crazy. So you don't think about stuff like that. It's just like a normal day work, just like you guys come to work every day. That's just what we do.
Yeah. And in those situations, every second is valuable, right?
Valuable, yeah, exactly right.
Tell me a bit about those, when you were in the air before you came down, like the passengers were saying you were, dropping a little bit to see if it would fall out. Can you tell me a bit more about those?
Well, yeah, see if I could get the nose gear to fall down. Sometimes when you slow the aircraft down, and you kind of give it a little bit of jerk, sometimes the nose gear will fall down. And that did not work. And then we went out and burned some fuel off to come back around. We made one pass at International, see if my boss could see if the gear was down and see if the tower, and they said no. And that's when I went back out and regrouped and, got all the checklists done and all that stuff, decided to come back in.
Yeah, so this whole time you're on the radio with your bosses and with the tower,
Yeah.
just checking all those things.
Yeah.
Any concerns about, fuel when you're landing? Is that
No, I had plenty of fuel.
Okay. And then it came down to it, you had to radio into International, and like the fire department said that they were able to stage ahead of time.
Right.
What did you tell them?
I said I have a problem with the nose gear, and they said, you want to call out the trucks or call, and I said, well, yeah, I guess we should. And so they called out the trucks. That's when I went out and burned some fuel, come back around for they to be ready. And they were there.
Yeah. And also Shannon said that you went out over the water a bit, like a ways from Anchorage.
Yeah, out to the south.
Yeah, what was the reasoning behind that?
Well, I get away from all the traffic coming in International.
Okay.
Because there were lots of people coming in and landing, so I just got out of the way.
Yeah.
Out of the way of the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I'm not a pilot, so it's interesting to hear those things you don't think about until, you're in the heat of the moment with it. And then you made the landing, and you kept it on its back gears for a while. You know, everyone said they were, you know, so thankful that you were so cool and calm while you're flying. How were you feeling in that moment?
I try not to get too excited about anything, you know. And this, if I had lost an engine or something like that, it'd be a different situation. But that's, you trained to be good at that. But a nose gear, it usually just sucks up and you skid down. You watch videos of people doing the same thing, but sometimes they're a little faster than there should be, and you get cockeyed in the runway and stuff like that. But I touched down so slow that it wasn't going to skid very far. But just for saving the engine and saving everything you can on the aircraft.
Yeah, they said, you said it might be a bit of a bumpy landing, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so props to you on that, and you know, keeping it pretty smooth. You've been flying for, you said 46 years now?
Yeah, 46 years, yeah.
And you're close to retirement.
Monday was going to be my last day.
Oh, really? This Monday, or this last Monday?
No,
Monday coming up. Yeah, well, that's incredible. Yeah. Are you, how are you feeling approaching retirement?
Oh, bad. I don't know. I've been here for so long. It's just the thing you do. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It just gets you your blood. So I just got to live without it, you know. But it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
And,
it's been a good journey.
This, you had the flight yesterday. Any flights coming up before Monday?
Well, I was supposed to, if nothing would happen, the airplane would have flown a day, and then I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, and I would have flown Sunday and Monday, and I've been done. So this was going to be kind of like the last check ride I was going to do and everything like that. So it was one of those deals. Just a day at the office, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite the day. I'd say that's quite the day if it was at the office for me. But for you, it was just, you know, another flight, and
yeah, you don't want anything to happen ever, but you know, when things just do happen. You know, a lot of people. I've lost lots of friends, lots of pilot friends that just plain screwed up and just did dumb things. Not saying I didn't do dumb things, but you know, it never caught up with me. But the older you get, the smarter you get.
yeah, I mean, especially in a field like flying, you know. Yeah, what do you love the most about flying?
I don't know. I guess you know, like I tell my grandkids, it's just a job. You know, it's just a glorified bus driver. That's all you are. You know, you don't. You know, mostly hauling in and out of the village and stuff like that. You meet a lot of different people, which is good. I've tried the airline gig and I didn't like it years ago. So it's been good for me. I mean, I really like it.
Yeah. And like you said, you meet a lot of different people. Shannon and Roxy were saying you deliver eggs and cakes.
Eggs.
What's that like? What's that like?
Well, that's the only way to get stuff out there. You know, like the other day I showed up there. What did they say? There was 100. I think, don't quote me on 150 dozen eggs in a little 5 dozen packets went out there. Not in boxes, no nothing. We had all around the airplane and stuff. So you be careful with eggs, put them outside for everybody to get the eggs. And so, yeah, you do that. And like I had 400 or 500 pounds of moose meat on yesterday, and you know, bringing it back to the villagers, from the village to the people in town. And so there's lots of, this airplane that was flying there, it's got a belly pod, so I mean, it's usually full of stuff going out. So, you know, the only way it's going to jump out is if I get down on my hands and knees and do it. So, but that's just the way it is, you know, it's a job.
Yeah, I mean, you say glorified bus driver, but most buses you don't have the fear that a front wheel isn't going to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
That's got to be new. But yeah, I mean, you made these people's day. I mean, 7 passengers. Is that
Yeah,
right?
7 passengers. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And like, you know, they were just coming in for, this is a flight they've done multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, and had great things to say about you and how you handled it. What would you say to them?
They're interesting people all the way around the whole world. But like I say, it's been a great job. So, and I used to fly my boss when he was 11 years old from Puget Bay back and forth, and he's, I don't know, I think he's 40-some years old now. So it kind of goes around. You know?
Yeah, and he still flies with you sometimes? Or?
Oh yeah, sometimes, yeah. But we used to do for check rides or something like that. But yeah.
That's got to be something.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So knowing someone that long. Yeah, and the plane obviously is still at the at Ted Stevens International.
Yeah, it's down our office at Trans-Northern. I think they're going to try to get it up on its all 3 feet here soon and see if they can figure out what happened and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's not how you anticipated one of your last few flights to go.
No.
Would you, if you had the chance to change it, would you?
Oh yeah, I wasn't looking forward to quitting anyway, but I wasn't looking forward to quitting 3 days early either, but or be done 3 days earlier. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I've always kept busy, and I'll probably kind of still work around the airport at the office ramp next year. Is what my game plan is, because once you get it in your blood, it's always in your blood. It'd be kind of hard not to fly, but sometimes you gotta say quit, you know.
It's a memorable last flight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you told your family? What did they have to say?
Oh, I didn't tell anybody. My wife did. You know, it'd be. I remember every day. So, but yeah, my wife, she got on the phone last night and texting everybody and her kids and her grandkids and. But the funny part about it, they knew who it was. They just said, what's Grandma send me a picture of this airplane going down? But I've had calls from kids I used to haul around when they were 10 years old from different villages and to check if that was me. It's like, this is on Facebook, I don't know. And so they started text this morning about 7 o'clock. So, and I just got one a little bit ago when I was on the way here to see you. So.
What were some of the things people were saying?
Was that you? Are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Yeah, fine, I'm fine, no big deal. So, but yeah, it's all good.
That's good, yeah. I mean, a lot of people after having an experience like that might not fly again, but you say, are you gonna fly recreationally at all, or?
I'm gonna say, I don't know. Never say no, because you never know. But no, I'm not planning on it. But, you know, after doing it for so many years, and just time to just wind down a little bit and do some more fun. I got a boat, go fishing and stuff like that. So that's my kind of a game plan.
Thanks for listening to In Depth Alaska. Please like and subscribe to this podcast.